Now look, I got the Kings jersey on, so it's only right that I talk about my Kings. All right, and I know you guys don't really watch the Kings. It's fine. I get it. All right. You don't watch us. We play at 10:30 at night every night. Yes, you know the Lakers play at 10:30. It's hard to watch the Lakers all night. So why would you stay up? When I say 10:30 at night, I mean on East Coast. Right now it's actually 9:08, but East Coast is 12:08. Right. So we play at 10:30 at night most of the time. East Coast people like myself, we like, oh, it's time. I'm struggling watching the game. And then we're the Kings. Like, who's gonna actually Google or go on YouTube and type anything Sacramento Kings related, unless there's something crazy going on? I mean, everybody's posting that sprint that Mike Brown did in our practice, and that's the most media attention we received in a long time. But hey, it's good. Like I heard people like trying to clown it. I'm like, he's talking about like he's coaching. He's all in. He's all in. So I'm very confident about this team. Now, you know what people do all the time? They look at you're not making the playoffs. You got this team, that team, this team, that team, this team, that team. Every single year, there are teams that are supposed to make it to the playoffs, but don't make it to the playoffs. And every year, there's a team that we're not supposed to be in the playoffs or at a certain position in the playoffs, and they do it anyway. So I believe it's our turn this time. Let's go over these years, all right? So you go all the way back, right? I think this is hold on, sorry. All right, this is 2000, we in 2023 playoffs. So this is 2022, 21, 20, 19. 2019, y'all. All right. When I look at well, sorry, not 2000, yeah, 2019. All right. The Clippers were not supposed to make the playoffs that year. In 2019. That year when they challenged KD and them in the first round, they were not supposed to make the playoffs that year. That's when they had Patrick Beverly, they had um Lou Williams, Montrezl Harrell, they had all those guys. They were not. They actually were supposed to. Not, I don't want to say tank. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs, but yet they squeezed in as the number eighth seed. And back then it was no play-in. And guess who was ninth that year? The Kings. Just one spot away. You go to 2020, the bubble year. All right, when they implemented the play-in game. Now, going into that season, Chris Paul got shipped to the OKC Thunder, and they were basically tanking. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs. But guess what? They made the playoffs that year as a fifth seed. So OKC jumped tremendously because the year before that, OKC was 14th in the NBA. They were terrible. Sorry, not 14. I'm tripping. The year before that, they were six, and they had Westbrook still. The year before that, they were six, and that's they were six, and that's when they lost to the Blazers in round one. So they were six seed, right, with the Blazers, and with that six seed, right, Kings not making it, man. Come on, man, Tomo, listen. As a Wizards fan, you should understand my excitement. But listen, y'all, we're gonna put on people on. Now look, the Thunder were a six seed. Now, as a six seed with Paul George and Russell Westbrook, they lose to Dame Lillard and the Blazers with a game winner, game five. They get rid of Westbrook. They get CP3. They weren't supposed to make the playoffs that year. They got Paul George. They got rid of Paul George. But guess what? Not only they made the playoffs next year, they did better and became a fifth seed. So that's 2 years I just brought to you guys back to back where there were teams that before the season were not supposed to make the playoffs, but made the playoffs anyway. All right? And they were the fifth seed. And that year in the play-in, we were the 12th seed. We were bad that year. All right. The year after that, the teams that were supposed to make the playoffs, they're always teams, like I said, supposed to make the playoffs. The Warriors, everybody, the Warriors making the playoffs. Guess what? The Warriors did not make the playoffs. But guess who did make the playoffs that year? The Memphis Grizzlies. The Memphis Grizzlies made the playoffs that year over the Warriors, by the way, in the play-in tournament. And then you go to last year. The Grizzlies took a leap from the 8th seed to the 2nd seed. Nobody expected the Timberwolves to make the playoffs. They made the playoffs. And nobody expected the Pelicans to make the playoffs. And they made the playoffs. Before the season, we had the Lakers in, we had the Clippers in, and we also probably had the Blazers in. Probably not. But we had the Clippers and the Lakers in for sure. And neither of those teams made the playoffs. But yet, Memphis and the Pelicans made it to the playoffs. So now look at this year. You got a lot of teams in the West. The Suns, the Grizzlies, the Warriors, the Mavericks, the Nuggets, the Timberwolves, the Pelicans, the Clippers, the Lakers, the Portland Trailblazers. I get it. All those teams could potentially make the playoffs. Why? How can the Kings make the playoffs? Now, it will be tough. But it's sad to say it happens every year. Somebody's going to suffer with a significant injury. It happens every year. Every year, there's a superstar or two or three that's going to miss the season. That's going to miss a chunk of the season, and it's going to cost the playoffs hopes for one of these teams. Now, I'm assuming we're healthy, all right? I'm assuming that we're going to be healthy throughout the year. So, the gimmies, the people I would say, yeah, I know for a fact they're in there. I know for a fact they're not going to miss the playoffs. For a fact. The Warriors, they're not missing the playoffs this year. All right? They're not missing the playoffs this year. All right? This is like 100% healthy. I will say the Mavericks. Luka is too good. The Mavericks are going to make the playoffs this year. All right? I'll give you the Grizzlies. I think the Grizzlies are going to make the playoffs this year. You know, the Nuggets, I guess we can say the Nuggets. Yeah, because they got Jokic. And yeah, the Nuggets, they were a 6 seed without Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. So I would say, but that's another thing, health. Health. I'm not even going to say Nuggets because health, man. I'm not going to say Nuggets. But that's it. Like, I'm not laying out right now. The Suns, I'm not too excited about the Suns this year. I'm not. Chris Paul is a year older. I'm not saying they're going to miss the playoffs, but I don't think they're going to be a number 1 seed or a number 2 seed this year. I don't think that's going to happen. So the Suns, the Nuggets, the Blazers, the Timberwolves, the Clippers, not even counting the Lakers. And the Lakers, 6 teams that I believe that we have a chance to have a better regular season record than these guys. Now the Nuggets, out of all those teams I just named, I would throw the Nuggets in the big pile. So let's take the Nuggets out. So the Suns, Timberwolves, right? Matter of fact, we can throw the Suns in there too. Let's throw the Suns in there. All right. No, I'm not gonna do that. I really don't trust the Suns. I really don't. But so let's say the Suns, the Timberwolves, the Blazers, and the Clippers, because Kawhi not even playing. Like I'm going to this Kings game. Kawhi not even gonna be there. Kawhi or John Wall. So those are the teams where I feel like we could potentially have a better record than them. Utah went from a 6 seed to number 1 seed. Memphis went from an 8 seed to number 2 seed. That leap we saw those two teams make, that's the leap we're going to make from last year. Not saying we're going to be a number 2, number 1 seed, but they went from 8 to 2, 6 to 1, right? They went 5 seeds, 6 seeds up. I believe we are making that leap this year from last year. All right? And last year, we were 12 seed. We were the 12th seed. So I believe that we can finish 6th. I truly believe that. I think we're gonna finish 6th because Mike Brown is on like when I hear his media press conference and everything, his intensity and all that stuff, he's literally focused on every single individually. Like we're not thinking about playoffs. All right. No, and when I say think about playoffs, I mean like let's get to the playoffs. That's not our motto. The Warriors' motto is get to the playoffs. The Mavericks' motto probably get to the playoffs. The Nuggets, same thing. They're gonna win some games, but they're like, let's get to the playoffs. Because Jamal Murray didn't even play yesterday. The Clippers, let's just get to the playoffs. So probably the Suns probably think like that. Because they got an older Chris Paul. Let's just get to the playoffs. So these teams are thinking, let's get to the playoffs, while we're thinking, let's win every game because we have to make the playoffs. So I think we're gonna sneak us on some people. and we're actually going to finish as a top 6 seed. All right, so there you go. That's what I believe, and I believe that will happen. All right, so like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Also, share this video with somebody that you know personally, so they can watch this live video. And we're about to end it, y'all. And I'm going to enjoy the game. Listen, I'm in Sacramento today. Right now it's October 22nd. I'm here, y'all. I got my jersey. I'm right now. I'm staying not too far from downtown Sacramento. So right now it's 9:18. So around noon, I'm going to get dressed and I'm gonna meet some people. See some. I never met a Sacramento Kings fan in person, so I'm very excited about that. All right. So hopefully I'll meet some Sacramento Kings fans while I'm here. So obviously I will. I'm going to the game. So that's all I have for you guys today. And I'll see y'all in the next episode. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.